Hello. Hello. Hi. So today's a more like informative video. I plan on having like a more like fun like, oh, this was my KCON experience video like I did last year. I'm gonna do that later in the week when KCON's over. This video, I'm trying to kind of get this out fast, and I want it to be like, this is what to expect if you get chosen for the one-on-one potential video call for KCONTACT. I'm making this because there's no information on what to expect. I looked. Maybe I'm a bad researcher, but like nobody really talked about this. I knew there was going to be an interview, and like that was really all I knew. So, I'm here to help you if you got chosen for a one-on-one video call for KCONTACT, or if KCONTACT continues to exist and you're thinking about maybe wanting to do it, but you don't know what to expect. I will tell you the experience, and you can decide if you want to do that or not. Okay? Cool. Spoiler alert, I didn't actually get chosen for the video call, so I'm not like giving advice of like, this is what to do to get the video call, because I clearly don't know. Because I lost. If you're wondering how to get into just the potential of the one-on-one like video call thing, well, for this season of KCONTACT, it's too late. For future seasons, there's usually a form, like an application form, that's put out like maybe kind of a month before KCON happens, and you apply. You pretty much say like, oh, this is the group I'm interested in, and they'll have some questions, and you say like, oh, I'm interested in the one-on-one video call. But you have to specifically like say like, oh my god, yeah, like, yes, I want that. And then you like have like a space to like just kind of say like, oh, what would you want to tell them, or like what would you want to do? And my only advice here is just like, have something to offer, okay? And this is gonna come up later too. Don't just be like,
oh my god, it'd be so cool.
Yeah, sure, it'd be cool for anyone. They don't care. They want that content, Give them something, right? I don't know. The way I kind of see this whole process is, it's like when you audition for a game show. You gotta kind of amp up a bit, right? You can't like you gotta give them something, right? You're you know what I'm saying? So you start off by just logging into the Zoom call, like right when it first opens, which was 5:30 in the morning for me. And yeah, that was painful. And like, yeah, you gotta be like, not like necessarily like ready, but you have to be there. You have to like actually be at your computer. It wasn't like when I was doing the live audience previous years where it's like you could log on and like do other stuff. Like you didn't have to be sitting there. They weren't really like doing like all the checks until like closer to the concert. I don't know exactly what like the time like, or like how they do this, like if there's interviewers in like all going at like the same time, or if they like go from like each artist. But we were the first, if that was the case. Like we started like pretty early on. I don't remember the exact time, but it was like we were in, and then it's like the KCON people were talking to us, and it's like, oh crap, this is serious. Ooh. So first thing, you're probably wondering, how many people like are there for this? For my experience with the Oh My Girl one, there were 6 people. There was 2 girls and 4 guys, because that's just kind of the demographic of Miracles. 5 of us were English speakers. 1 was a Japanese speaker. One thing to kind of note is the people did ask us if we like knew Korean at all. So I don't know if that's necessarily like a leg up if you know Korean. It might be. Like they seemed like really like intrigued, like if we knew even like the slightest bit. Also be wary that if you like say yes, they might ask like, oh, can we do an interview question in Korean? So don't like lie. just be honest about it. Okay, so the KCON people, like came in and they're like, hey everyone. They asked us, I guess, who were the English speakers, and we like raised our hand, and then it was like, okay, we're getting started. It was like, I don't know, like a chorus line or something. Like you're doing your kind of like audition in front of everyone. So just be prepared for that. I'm not saying that to like scare you. I'm saying that more as to like, just like don't be shocked when that happens. Like you don't go into this private call with the KCON people. You're all in the breakout room together and you're answering the questions. I felt really bad for the first person who like got asked the questions, because it's like clearly like none of us knew what to expect, and it's like, yeah, if you're the first one, you're kind of like, you're thrown off because you're just like, oh my gosh, I didn't prepare for this. Whereas like, the people after kind of had like oh, so this is what they're gonna be doing, okay, and so you can start like thinking ahead what to expect them to ask. I guess it kind of varies. The weird thing I thought was them just asking like, oh, like tell us about yourself, because like I don't know, like, hi, it's my name, from the United States, I love Oh My Girl. Like what do you want from me? Do you want me my profession, my job, my life story? Because this is another thing, they're kind of like in a hurry. They will kind of cut you off sometimes in like the middle of your answers. Also, you might notice that when you're answering your question, you hear them talking because the woman, or at least in our group, she is translating it in Korean to someone else. Like she's like talking to someone else who's there, and she's translating it. So you kind of are like, oh, they're talking while I'm talking, and it's like, oh no, she's translating. So just kind of like, just, kind of ignore her a bit, like just keep going. But then like she might cut in with some English and be like, okay, that's cool. Or like if you say something that like they're like, oh, tell me more about this. Like they'll jump in and they'll want to know more. They kind of have an idea of like what kind of engagement they want to happen during the concert. So for instance, with Oh My Girl, if you watched their concert, the video call thing that they had was like they did like a fan service thing, and that was like the question that we were kind of given, was like, imagine this situation, you as the fan, and you're gonna perform some fan service for her, what do you do? It's a really weird question to answer on the spot, but that's what's gonna happen to you in front of a bunch of people. So this is why they do the interview, right? They're seeing how you react, and you gotta dance a little bit, okay? You can't just be like,
oh, I mean, I don't know, like,
They don't want that. I don't think they want that. So just like think ahead. I think it also benefits a lot if you have an idea of something you really want to say beforehand. One of the questions they kind of ask is like, oh, like what would you want to say to this member? Like, who's your bias? Oh, that's the thing. They do ask who your bias is. So have that ready. I find it's better to have just one firm like stand by, like, this is my bias. This is what I want to say to them. Like you have it kind of planned out. Yeah, I don't know. Like if you have something that you like, like specifically, like I think with our guy and like with Yua, it's like, oh, I want to like congratulate her on her solo, debut, stuff like that. Like that's like you have something ready. You kind of have like this more like drive and purpose of wanting to do it. For my part, I kind of like had a feeling I wasn't getting through because one, I never got that like fan service question, which I was like, huh. The question that they asked me was, so what's behind you? Okay, so even before that, they were like asking me, like, they asked me when I got into Oh My Girl, which was weird because they didn't ask anyone else this. So I was like, oh, so I gave my answer. And then I like talked about how I went and saw them live when they came to the United States, and they thought that was really cool, and they're asking about that. And then they asked like, what's behind me, like what's the merch, and I was kind of like showing that off, and then it's like they interrupted me. They're like, okay, thanks. I'm like, I didn't even show it. Okay. If I had to rate myself out of 10, I don't know what they would have given me. The guy that did end up getting the video call, I like knew right away when his turn happened, I was like, oh, this is the guy that's getting it. Like, he was perfect. Like, he was like everything that you expect. That, like, I think that they would want from someone doing this. Like, he was just great, and you could tell, like, he was ready for anything, and he was happy. And, you know, at the end of the day, I'm kind of glad I didn't get it, because I would have been so awkward. Especially because, oh, my girl's not the best at English. So when there was kind of like a miscommunication thing that happened, like, yeah, yeah. So, okay. So remember how I said this all started at 5:30 a.m. The concert starts at 8 a.m. 7:50 comes around. We haven't heard anything. We have no idea who got through, what's happening. They've told us nothing. The concert is literally starting and they haven't gotten back to us. And then I think it was like, I don't know, it might have been like during the first song. They finally came into our room and they told us who was going through. And they're like, yeah, okay, if you guys who didn't get the call want to, you know, still be in the live audience, here's the meeting room and the password, and you can go join that. Oh, I'm just gonna say this kind of varies, I guess, on the group, but Oh My Girl only had one person win the call. I know some of the other groups had like two people get through. So, but just know, like, yeah, you're just because you got this potential call does not mean you might not be talking to them. There's no, I don't know why, like in the first season of KCON, they still had like people do like kind of like a talk with. I don't know why they got rid of that. I'm so mad. Like, it's 6 of us. Just let us speak to them for like a minute. Come on, please. Ugh. Okay, this part. So I go to join the Oh My Girl live audience with, you know, the stuff that they gave me, and they don't give you like a I guess it's like your member ID. You have your member ID from when you're in the one-on-one like video call Zoom thing, but now you're in a different Zoom thing, and they know to let you in based off of your member ID, and if it matches, like, I guess, their list. But we're not like on that list because we were in the video call and not in the live audience. So I'm just sitting in there, just waiting, and it's like, oh, if you're not getting in, check your member ID, and there's no way to talk to them. You've no, it's only KCON can send out the messages. You can't. Oh my god. So you're just like, what do I do? What do I do? I'm trapped. They're not letting me in. I can't tell them, like, hey, this is what happened. This, my savior, my queen. Ugh, the blessing. I don't know what I would have done without her. Fun little story about my, you know, Zoom group. The other girl in the call ended up finding me on Twitter because of my, like, backdrop. I mean, I wasn't that hard to find. Yeah, she just ended up finding me, and we were like DMing, and we were just like, you know, just kind of talking. It was nice to have like a buddy through the whole thing, because that was the other thing. Like, we didn't talk to each other in the Zoom room. Like, that was awkward. We are just kind of like sitting in silence for 2 hours, and like, you didn't know if like you should like be talking or like, you know, like just even like typing. It was just weird. It was uncomfortable. But so we were talking and like just kind of being like, are you having the same issue like as me? Like, and it's like, yeah, okay. I was like, oh, okay, good, glad I'm not the only one. And we're just kind of talking, and she just was like, I'm just gonna go back into the last Zoom call and just tell them to let me in, essentially. And she did that, and it worked. So then that's what I did. So if you have this issue where you don't get the one-on-one video call, so you go to join the live audience and they're just not letting you in, go back to the old Zoom call, and this is what's gonna happen. They're gonna go,
excuse me, can you please leave and go to the other, like, Zoom, thanks.
And you are gonna type,
hey, I have been trying to, and they did not let me in. So could you please let me in?
There's gonna be like an awkward pause, and then they'll finally be like,
Okay, sorry about that.
and then you go, and then they'll let you in. I was gonna be so furious if it's like I went through all that work, got up at like 5 in the morning, and I didn't even get into like the audience because of this stupid, oh my god. I think that's pretty much it. Then after that, it's the normal like live audience thing. And if you're curious about just the live audience, you can watch my last KCON video. I talk about that because I did the live audience then, and then I did it here. And yeah, that's the video call thing. I hope you found that helpful. I get to try this whole thing again a week from today because I also am in the ITZY 101 potential call. So if you're also in the ITZY potential call, game on. I hope no one in the ITZY call actually watched this video. I don't want you having any kind of, I want the upper hand. I want the advantage. To the guy that actually won the video call for Oh My Girl, his name was Leo. Congratulations, that was so cool. I think you did a really great job, and I think you totally deserved it, even though I kind of hate you and that you stole it from me, and I could have been such a better person. But yes, that is the video. Look out for my like full KCON experience video. Probably it's gonna be maybe a week or two. It depends on how I feel editing. I'm so tired. Please let me know if you have any questions. You can comment your questions, DM me on Twitter if you want to like, be secretive and you don't want to like give out like your like strategies, but also commenting on my video helps me in the algorithm. So, but like I get it if you want to be like secretive and like you want to plan and plot. Like I got you. Like I want to help out people the best I can. Unless you're in the ITZY fan like call thing, like you're not getting any help from me. I'm sorry. Just how it is. Anyway, that is it. Goodbye. Have a wonderful KCON week. I'm gonna go sleep. Actually, no, I'm gonna go edit this video and then I'm gonna go sleep. So when you're watching this, I'm gonna be asleep. Unless you watch it tomorrow when I'm awake. You know what, whatever. Okay, bye.